Hello, I'm Mary V. Today, let's talk about improving your sound. Sometimes the actual sound that you're making can be quite neglected. There's so much to work on with the left hand, intonation, etc., and the bowing action. And we can kind of forget that the end result of violin playing is actually the sound. And we need to actually work on that on its own as a purpose to beautify the sound. So let's have a look at a few ways that we can do that. So first of all, let's look at the angle that you're holding the violin at and make sure that the length of your arm can reach easily to the tip. That gives you the best chance of playing a straight bow. For example, if your violin's are way out there, you're going to have to reach forward every time. It's just crazy. So bring your violin under your chin and bring it in front like that, so that your arm can bow a straight bow very easily, like this. So practice your straight bows in front of the mirror, just so that you can memorize it and learn it. So the next thing to think about is the very important contact point. Now, if you're used to bowing with a not very straight bow and you're going sort of round like that, it's very likely that you're going to start hitting far too close to the bridge and you'll get a lot of interference in your sound. I mean, when you play next to the bridge, it's actually called ponticello and it's a specialised sound. Like that. So let's think about vibrating the string from a very sympathetic contact point. And let's choose a point that's, say, quite close to the fingerboard, maybe 3/4 of the way down, in between the bridge and the fingerboard. So one of the best ways to actually improve your sound is to think about doing medium speed bows with eliminating all interference and bumps, etc. from your sound. So it's very, very smooth, and the way to do it is to put your bow on the string instead of putting a lot of weight into it. Just allow the bow itself to make the sound. So the start of a lovely sound on the violin is to get away from the concept of arm weight and start exploring the sound that the bow makes itself just by its own weight. So by allowing the bow to work with its own weight and to explore how the bow creates the sound, and all you're doing is facilitating the bow to be really, really straight at all points. That's all your arm is really doing, okay, at this point. And if you're not used to doing that, the best way to explore what the bow can do for you is to not use so many fingers, just maybe 2 fingers once the bow is on the string, so that you've got less chance of interfering with what the bow is actually doing. So by doing that, you will lighten your bow arm and you will realise that all it needs to do is to get into the right shape with the wrist, the fingers and the forearm and the elbow to facilitate the bow. If you think about the bow as an actual instrument in its own right, then you've got to explore its properties and what it can actually do for you. So that's the basic thing that you need to do to improve your sound. Go to a sympathetic contact point and work to eliminate all bumps and interference in the sound. And then choose a note, and it's best to choose a note that resonates perfectly with the open string below it. So I'm going to choose G on the D string. And again, I'm just going to draw the bow and allow the bow to have its own weight. And I play very, very lightly and in a sympathetic contact point. Now, the vibrato, putting the vibrato in, will clarify to you how the vibrations are coming into the air, and you respond to that by getting the frequency right. Okay? So it's only by doing this that you can start to understand how to manipulate the frequencies that are coming from the violin. And this is the best way to do it in a very, very basic way, just using one note. Right, let's go to the A string now and choose D on the A string, which resonates with the open string, the open D. So start with no vibrato and then gradually add vibrato. So because I'm not putting any muscular effort into the bowing, I'm actually receiving through my bow hand and my arm vibrations, as well as the vibrations swirling around my head, and also I can feel the vibrations in my left hand as well. You start becoming aware of these vibrations, and you start naturally being very sympathetic to it. And the violin is becoming more and more and more able to respond to through the bow. We'll try an A on the D string. So what am I actually listening to when I do that? I am searching for the purest, most sympathetic vibrations caused by the vibrato, which enhances the frequencies that are coming out from the violin. So that's just one type of bowing that really helps you to start to understand how you can be at one with these frequencies, but also input into it through the instrument of your bow. So let's do another type of exercise on an open string, and this time it's a fast bow, and you're vibrating the string a lot faster, and see how the violin responds. Even though I'm using a faster bow, I'm still practicing without allowing any weight to go on the bow. The bow is doing all these sounds. I'm not putting any extra muscular effort or weight in. So try to have the loosest, lightest tone you possibly can with a really nice, consistent contact point. Now let's try it super fast on the A string. it's very good for your bowing action because there's a point here. I can feel my bow really wants to bounce. So I have to sort of lighten and not interfere with that. Because as soon as I respond with a tightening of my muscles to try to control it, it's going to bounce. Like that. So that's a little point where I have to allow the bow to be very, very light and not interfere. If you can make a lovely, clear, beautiful sound with open strings or a single note, you're well on your way to understanding what the vibrations that you're producing are all about. So I hope you enjoy your experiments with sound, and I'll leave it there. Bye.